Oh, wow, wow, wow. Our next match, which will decide the second person in this group to move on, has got me feeling like a giddy little schoolgirl because it involves someone who I have been watching for years and years and years since he played Warcraft 3. I finally today got to meet him, and I can't stop smiling and it hurts a little bit. Well, first I'm going to bring out his opponent, who you know because he just played. He's the Miracle Man. He's been killing Koreans left and right and almost managed to kill MVP. Please welcome again, Targa. Mind Freak, Targa. Everybody. And his opponent. Oh, I'm such a fan. Grubby. Oh. Shake hands. Good luck, have fun. And this time, I swear, I do think it's D9 and Kailaris, and they're going to take it away and they're going to kick its ass.
Thank you very much, Jarrett. It's fantastic to be back after my little break. I hear you had a great time with Moonglade.
Oh, God, he's good. He gets it. I ask him questions about Zerg, and he just gives an answer and brings in that essential nugget of insight.
Yeah.
And actually, speaking of insight, I want to talk a little bit about the attitude that we just saw from our good friend Jarrett Kale up on the main stage. I'm not going to lie. I think everyone is the biggest fan of all time of Grubby.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so hard not to be. I'm like a subscriber on his Twitch TV channel. I like give him the $5 a month voluntary subscription because I'm just Grubby. I want him to do well, and he's managed to knock down Ace 2-1, and then Oz 2-0.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And in a similar vein, I'm actually a mod on that channel. And I'm always frequenting it and, you know, keeping people in line. Because keeping people in line in Grubby's chat is a good thing.
But, I mean, what's so interesting to note about the matchup that we're about to see is that Targa has knocked down also Ace and Oz. They both knocked out the same two Korean players to be at this final match. So certainly we know that Targa is no slouch in the PvZ matchup. That's what he's going to be doing right now. But with Grubby, we haven't actually seen a lot of his PvZ yet.
No, indeed. I mean, speaking from experience, I have been casting a lot of Grubby's games and casting alongside him as well. So I know I have a really, really good insight into the mentality of Grubby in terms of what he's able to bring out in PvZ. Now, a lot of what we end up seeing from him is he has a specific way in which he does the 3 Immortal all-in on the 2 base.
Oh yeah,
which is something that he has refined in terms of timings that is not quite like any other Protoss that you see in the foreign scene.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like everyone kind of has their own special way of doing that, that timing push, but for anyone who surprisingly doesn't know about it, it is one of the most difficult to deal with attacks in the universe. Essentially, a Protoss builds up sentries and immortals, only spending money on that. Of course, all the gas will be going into the sentries, and some minerals will be going into the mortals. What are you doing with the rest of the minerals? Building 7 gateways total. And then when you push out, you just only build stalkers. So you have this enormous stalker sentry immortal force. A lot of Zergs can't quite seem to deal with it.
And the great thing, well, the interesting thing about Grubby's 3 immortal push is the fact that he moves out basically at the 9-minute mark, which is just a little bit before most Protosses actually when they're able to throw in that kind of style. So Grubby is certainly a very, very big contender in that, but at the same time, there have been many, many a game that I've seen from Grubby where he's gone up against the likes of, say, Johnny Rico, for example, the new DJ Rico, and he has been able to stretch his multitasking to the limit in terms of really exploiting his opponent's immobility with that Broodlord Infestor composition.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited to see Targa try to answer some of what Grubby is potentially going to be able to throw at him, because Targa is the sort of player who does favor a lot of early Zergling speed play, and that is really, I think, the key, is getting that Zergling speed before anything else. So up in the top left corner, the man who essentially did the unthinkable and knocked out 2 Koreans in basically their best matchups. It's going to be Grubby from Team Grubby.
And down to bottom right-hand corner, we do have a phenomenal showing from this player as of recent in this tournament. He goes by the name of Mind Freak Targa, or Targa even. So, indeed, this is one of Grubby's maps where he does really, really like to go for that 3 immortal push. Again, he'll just go, skipping the Observer to begin with. Obviously, the Observer coming out would indicate a bit more of an expansion-orientated play, potentially. But he just goes straight for the 3 Immortals, into the Warp Prism, and then into the Observer after that in order to be able to help him, just in case his opponent has gone for that kind of burrow tech. Yeah, and, to completely not talk about what they're doing for just a little bit longer, because I think it's totally sweet. My favorite part about that timing push is the fact that it actually relies on the Warp Prism. Yes. That is the key component, the fact that you can warp in directly on top of your unit, of your army ball. Yeah. And that way, any force fields you throw down reinforce the warping in units. It's so great. And Grubby, doing exactly what you were talking about. Oh no, the drone's not moving. No, okay, well, everyone's gonna wait. Be very quiet. The server is hiding, it's scared. Oh. This is like that scene in Jurassic Park where the Tyrannosaurus Rex stops them all at the cars, and they're like, it's like, don't move, because the T-Rex can't see you. And the server's back, it's back. Oh, okay. Oh. My God. Crisis averted. The only thing that went wrong is that one annoying lawyer who no one liked died on the toilet. That guy. I feel sorry for that guy. God, do I ever not. That's just justice in film. Well, I wanted to be a lawyer for a long time, so that's why maybe I feel sorry for him. But anyway. So, for now, he does have the cannon on the way to be able to get this thing going. Oh, in fact, that's quite interesting. Normally you would see Grubby go for the gateway beforehand, but what pull timing did he scout out? Did he scout normal pull timing? I think he saw that there was this expansion going down at the 3rd base. He wants to make sure to delay this. Oftentimes you'll see a second pylon thrown down at the natural and the 2nd base, but nothing too aggressive with the pyloning, just a single one. Grubby is getting a slightly delayed gateway. You don't really want to get the gateway too early, because if you're getting it around 3:45, you have just enough economy to be in good shape. But if you're trying to do something like get it at 3:15, that's useful for early warp gate attacks, but anything else would be a little bit too expensive. So for now, we will have Forge finishing up and good to go. Gateway's finishing up with the Nexus on the way as well. 3rd hatchery going to be going down for now for Targa, and he's just going to be transferring over to that 3rd location. Now, other than that, we have the double gas already being mined here for Grubby, and if we see the Robo straight after Psycore, then we might be in for some fireworks in just a bit. Yeah, I mean, I really am hoping we see that push. What's so nice is that it's all revealed by this gas timing. It looks like Targa is keeping his Overlord right there, so he will very much so be able to see what's up. He's starting to poach in a little bit, wants to just make sure he knows when that Cybernetics Core timing is. It can be quite helpful. One Zealot popping down for Grubby. Don't ordinarily see that if you're doing the timing push you're talking about, but there's the +1. Yeah, a +1 on the way. Now, technically, he could follow this up with that kind of 4 warp gate attack with the +1 to be able to, throw off his opponent a little bit. But recently, for Zergs, we've been seeing them go for more just the speedling defense as opposed to that standard 6.5, 7-minute Roach Warren defense, which is nice to see. But sometimes the Roaches can be very, very nice to be able to just bolster that defense that little bit extra to be able to keep you going. All right, well, there's the indicator. 2 assimilators going down right now. You can go for early blink attacks with this move, but generally is going to indicate that Grubby is indeed going for the big old 3 Immortal timing push that you're talking about. We should see, well, after we hear that intense whistle that I just made on the SH noise, that was impressive. That was even hard on my ears. Can humans make that? Oh, yeah. You somehow made it happen. We should see either 3 gateways or a robo by now, but we're still not quite seeing anything out of Grubby. Well, it looks like he is going to be going for some sort of blink play. There's the 3 gateways. Twilight Council should be following shortly. We shall see. As for now, Probe just hanging around. He is breaking down the rocks, so this might be a little bit of a ruse. But still, I mean, as much as we've harked on about the aggressive play that he can go for, there is always the opportunity for Grubby to just go into that big macro game. He's very, very comfortable in it, and even more so than more Protossers going up against Zerg, he allows himself to be able to stretch his opponents thinly across the map just by constant warp and prism harass. And, a symbol of Grubby is that Storm Drop that can be very, very deadly against a Zerg. Oh, God, I love seeing Storm Drops in this matchup. They're so cool. Yeah. Down on Targa's end of things, he is going for a pretty common set of timings. This is a very nicely timed macro half right at 8 minutes. Layer also timed
right at 8 minutes, but both after Zergling speed. The Zergling speed is really the big key to dealing with that Sentry, Stalker, Immortal push. Often Zerg players won't quite have Zergling speed up when the push begins, making it impossible to slow down or surround. But with Grubby going for this blink play, he's going to essentially have, or perhaps not blink play. It looks like he was just going for a very fast +2. Kind of an interesting choice. But we'll be going for a very fast expand.
Now, I love the choice to go hallucination with such a delayed robo. I think that getting that hallucination out to just be able to, you know, just scout out your opponent with the lack of observers that you would have at this point is very, very useful indeed. So I like that by Grubby. But meanwhile, Targa...
Some incredible force fields from Grubby allow him to pick off every single Zergling that came to scout. I mean, look at the unit lost to have 17 Zerglings picked off. And now Grubby's going to create the Great Wall of China, basically. Just completely wall off this front side with gateways.
And if anybody was going to create that Great Wall of China, I mean, Grubby has had a lot of experience in China, so he knows the architecture, he knows the structures of such things. And, okay, so, I mean, coming back to what Tarja was doing, interestingly enough, he threw down his double evolution chamber a little bit later than you would normally see a Zerg. Normally, you would see the Zerg throw down one evolution chamber along with the Roach Roaring, but he didn't opt to do that. So I like what he's doing, getting these timed up so he can quite easily just start them both initially as soon as the 2-2 comes around, so it feels really fluid for him. I think that is really, really cool here by Tarja.
I really like the play that we're seeing out of Tarja. Grubby's going to go ahead and scout it with his Phoenix right away, but Tarja's essentially saying, okay, if you're going to do your early expand thing, I'll let you. I'm just going to go straight into the late game. Getting his 1-1 upgrades up, helping him prepare for 2-2, Insta Infestation Pit, and you can see the pathogen glands there. Wouldn't even be surprised to see a Hive go down right now. Really cool way to deal with the play that looks like Grubby will be doing, which is the big Blink Stalker and the timing push that ends up getting you +3 at around 13-ish minutes. I mean, you're just going to end up with this mass Blink Stalkerage. Generally, Protoss player will even add 2 more gateways on right about now, but no Robo Bay going down for Grubby.
I like the decision. I think, you know, you can't go too low in terms of AoE against a Zerg going into these later stages of the game. It looks like Tarja actually wants to poke around here a little bit. He does have quite a lot of Zerglings out here, but I guess kind of just zoning Grubby out, making sure that he has full control of the map for now. Not too bad.
Grubby also just playing calmly, making sure that he's not overspending the energy on those sentries because he needs to save a lot of energy to get that many Phoenixes up.
And there you go. We have the Hive on the way along with that Spire. So he is going to be going into the pretty... Actually, interestingly enough, does he have the Infestation Pit yet? I don't think he does.
No, he has the Infestation Pit.
Yeah, of course he does. What am I on about? Hive morphing in? Does he have an Infestation Pit? No.
Is he have an Infestation? Is he cheating? It's like, you know, I think he is cheating. No. He's actually just using the standard tech tree pattern, getting up that Hive tech. And this is the moment that I find very difficult as a Zerg player, where you really need to get 100 drones and build a stupid amount of spine crawlers because you just have no time. You're already going to get pushed at around 15 minutes, which is right before you end up getting up your Hive tech.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, that's huge amount of spine crawlers is becoming more and more prolific in this matchup in general. Just going for huge walls to be able to, once again, zone out your opponent and just keep yourself so well defended whilst you build that ultimate doom death ball of infestors and brood lords. It can be very hard for Protoss to deal with unless they hit very specific acute timings.
Yeah, and it looks like Targa, oh my gosh, has more Zerglings than I think Grubby was expecting to see. An excellent surround from the backside, and there it looks like Grubby will be able to blink out, but I think the Immortal Sentry might have to be left behind. A single Colossus steps up into the fray, and Grubby amazingly held off that huge number of Ling Roach. There's still a lot of Lings on the map, still a pretty high amount of energy on those Infestors. They get a single blast out on those fungal growths, but Grubby just keeps warping in the Blink Stalkers.
Yeah, he doesn't have too much energy left on these sentries, so he won't be able to throw down too many force fields as the Zerglings come in from all over the place and get pretty good surface area on this entire army. But I think there's maybe just a little bit too much DPS here for Grubby for now.
And it looks like with those 13 roaches about to pop out, Grubby is going to have to retreat. These Immortals that were so expensive to build will be taken down, and Targa, who's been surprising us so many times in so many series, continues to bring the surprises here in this matchup. Grubby now stepping into the fray, has a single probe trying to find somewhere to hide a pylon, but really there's just creep spread from Targa all along this left flank.
Yeah, doing pretty good with that. Getting that Adrenal Glands finished up now as well. We have 3 more Infestors as well as 4 Corruptors coming out to be able to transform them into the deadly armada that does encompass those Broodlords. And for now, I mean, Grubby, he's looking to maybe end up establishing his 4th anytime soon. He's sent a Stalker to clear out that location, but I mean, he doesn't seem to be letting up with aggression just yet. He wants his opponent to be in a very, very defensive stance.
Grubby needs this exact window. He's stepping right into the most undefended location, and it looks like Targa hasn't begun moving yet. Oh my god, Targa's just going to completely lose this expansion for nothing. I mean, how did this happen? How did this happen? This is just a huge misstep, and all the Infestors going to die for nothing. Wait, Grubby just got the biggest advantage out of nowhere. All these forces were completely well positioned and well equipped to be able to deal with that expansion, but no, Grubby just gets to waltz right in, might even take out another base on his own. Targa can't decide whether he wants to defend or counterattack.
He has a few force fields as well here. Guardian Shield's gone up to be able to soak up a lot of the damage from those roaches, but there's still a lot of Zerglings here doing quite a bit of damage as well. The Infestors end up falling though, and that Colossus might be able to get sniped, and indeed it will do. Nice control there by Tarja to be able to bring down those very, very valuable units. I think he's barely just going to be able to clean this up, but right now Grubby has still got that supply advantage.
And Grubby now reinforcing with huge waves of Stalkers. The instant he blinks back those weakened ones, he has a full another set of energy that he can just let dwindle down. And Grubby also continuing the aggression. So many Blink Stalkers. Targa has absolutely nothing to be able to answer it, and I don't believe it. Targa was in a great spot. A huge flub on the left expansion, losing 7 Infestors. Grubby, he's not going to let that mistake fly. He seizes that opportunity immediately.
Yeah, completely relentless here by Grubby, picking up on that mistake, and Tarja right now, in desperation, pulls the drones to be able to try and clean this up, but it's going to be in vain. GG. Wow. Grubby. It reminds me of the second game we saw between Real and Bomber. We never saw the first game, but the first game that we did cast, there was that moment where Real had a very nice situation for himself, but Bomber all of a sudden just said, well, I'm going to move up to your 3rd, and you're not there. And he just killed it. And there was just out of place and out of time. Really strange.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those missteps that happens every now and again.
Yeah.
You know, one of those standard, like, wait a minute, did I just build 2 Overlords on 10? You know, one of those mistakes that shouldn't ever happen, but every once in a while sneaks in there. That is what I'd probably describe that mistake from Tarja as. I mean, he's doing everything fantastically. He's doing the right tech transitions, getting the right upgrades, landing huge fungals, demolishing Grubby's big mid-game push, and everything looked just right for Targa. And then all of a sudden just, oh yeah, free expansion, free Infestors. Wait, what?
Yeah, those, and it's not even, I mean, losing the expansion is brutal. That's a really horrible thing to have for Tarja to happen. But I think it's even more important that there was 4 Infestors for completely free. They just
oh, more than that. It was 6 or 7. He lost tons of Infestors in that bottom side. I mean, the degree to which Targa just tossed that out the window. I mean, Targa even rewatching the replay because, I mean, have you ever gotten like just flustered playing against a really good player, and then afterwards you watch the game and you're like, oh, I wasn't that far behind?
Once or twice. I mean, played thousands of games. It's
one of those things where you can like trick yourself into thinking you're far behind or in a bad position when actually you're in a great position. Yeah,
no, I mean, now that you say it like that, there's a lot of times that could happen. Wow, this is really kind of haunting.
Grubby leaning back, getting that nice emaciated skull shading from that bright red light up on top.
But no, I know exactly what you mean. You're not too far behind, but you still somehow you feel that in your mind everything's going wrong for you, and all of a sudden there's everything barreling down on you from every angle. But you watch the replay back and you're like, oh, well actually, I could have done pretty well there. But anyway, we're going to be going on to game number 2. What map do we have, Sir Day9?
It will be Daybreak. As Moonglade was saying earlier, this is the sort of map that doesn't really favor any one race. Everyone feels comfortable. It has big enough distance to where you're like, oh, okay, I can cope with this kind of thing.
Yeah. So, indeed you do. We shall have Mr. Grubby going to be spawning up in the top right-hand corner here as our red Protoss. And down to the bottom left-hand corner, we do have Mind Freak's Tarja currently 1 game down here on the verge of elimination after what seems like an absolutely formidable run through this open bracket.
I mean, Targa is really almost knocked out 3 top Koreans in a row. I mean, and noteworthy ones. Ace, that everyone really got familiar with after he won the 2011 event in Hanover at IEM, and Oz, who just can't really seem to lose against Zergs as of late, and MVP, who's the best Terran in the world. I mean, perhaps you might even say Liquid Taja's the best Terran in the world, but MVP has 1,000,001 medals as easy proof.
I think it's the more consistent of the two in terms of a long-term period. Tasia just stepping onto the scene in terms of a big way very, very recently. So MVP, I believe, still holds that mantle right now. So what do we have going on for Grubby? Looks like he is just queuing up them probes. So what's going on? Did he catch it? No. Barely.
Looks like he managed to do a little bit of damage, and Grubby says, ouch. And this actually is quite bad for Grubby because right now a drone can pop down and feel very comfortable just chasing down that one probe.
And it actually has a relatively big effect if you're not paying attention to the probe when you're trying to deny the positioning of hatcheries, because it's got a little less hit points now. It's not going to be as useful when you're trying to deny the positioning of the hatcheries if you want to block them.
I mean, that's something that I don't know if Grubby wants to do it on this map or not. I mean, often players will go for that 3 Immortal, 7 Warp Gate all-in style on this match because it's kind of annoying to play a long-term game with a lot of Zergs, but Grubby is definitely the man mode Protoss. He will absolutely go toe-to-toe in a super long macro game on this map. I think the big key on this map is how Protoss is able to get up a 4th base, since it's pretty clear how to get up 3.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It can be a little bit trying to be able to get that 4th base up, but look at this once again. Tarja actually going for the 3rd location straight away, not even bothering dancing with that probe to kick things off. And that's pretty good for Tarja, but Grubby is one of those players that won't necessarily throw down like an immense amount of pylons and let them finish. We've spoken about it many a time, and he feels that especially 2 pylons is a massive waste that early on. So.
Yeah, well, speaking of 2 pylons, I love that Grubby went Pylon, Forge, Nexus, Pylon, and then Cannon. He's going to be doing a lot of chrono boosting on that probe count back home. I mean, his energy on his Nexus, it's so easy to let that get up to 80 or so as you're stuck on 1 pylon trying to get your gateways and all your tech up. But Grubby knows the importance of having that late-term economy.
And meanwhile, with that gate finishing, he's going to be able to step up to that cybernetics core. And again, saying what we were saying before, I would be very surprised if Grubby doesn't use the whole 3 Immortal thing in this entire series at least once. So we shall see if he's going to do that, as we have Tarja transferring his drones over now to the 3rd location. Queen's already there with that lava inject, and actually there's only 1 Queen out right now, and it is at that 3rd. So I actually like that in terms of defensive capability.
But this looks a lot like a Ling Baneling all-in from Targa. I mean, the fact that he's already gotten his gas geyser down, the Zergling speed will start. Yep, they're being left in. Looks like that's exactly what we're going to be seeing. But Grubby, Grubby's going to get to see it perfectly. I'm so shocked that this Queen is down here at this expansion. I mean, you need to be in the main. I mean, now Grubby, wait, what?
Wait a minute, where's he going? And there you go, there's the Baneling Nest on the way. Very well deduced.
Oh gosh, and Grubby is going to be in a dangerous position. There's actually a pylon going down at the front. He wants to try to re-wall in here, but the Speed Zerglings are just going to waltz right on around. Oh, Grubby might just be doomed right now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, especially since I'm guessing with that pylon, his plan is for a very early 3rd, potentially. As he just wants to establish gateways at the top of that ramp and then just defend fully at a 3rd location. So that would be interesting. This is going to get very scary for Grubby.
Oh, this is going to get so messy so fast. The Sentry now pulling back up. I mean, does he suspect yet? I mean, you have to not suspect anything at this point in time. 2 sentries wandering down to the south side. Oh gosh, this is going to turn out as badly as possible for Grubby. Targa is going to get a huge window of opportunity here.
But I actually love this move from Targa because...
and there it looks like he sees what's up. He sees the Baneling Nest. How quickly can he react? How quickly can Grubby wall off his front? And it looks like, nope, he's going to lose both those sentries immediately.
push. Meanwhile, he does seal it off here with the gateway. He might have to cancel the 3 gateways at the front, actually, because they're pretty much just sacrificial at this point.
Oh, he might. Well, does he have enough time to... No, it looks like he doesn't have enough time to get the warp gates finished.
No.
Totally sacrificial gateways. Grubby needs to just cancel those immediately. He's desperate to get the sentries up as fast as possible, rebuilding warp gates up in the main base. Even if this doesn't pan out, Targa has a clear timing window where he can make a lot of drones. And there's the attack advancing forward, and it looks like the cybernetics core.
Oh, if he'd have got that before Warp Gate had finished, that would have been absolutely crazy there for Grubby. But amazingly, Grubby actually has a really nice defense here. And behind it, he has 45 probes to the 27 drones. So I don't think Targa is actually going to be able to bust through here with the sentries in tow.
Oh, he's going to need to throw down some nice force fields at just the right time. There's a lot of weak buildings all across the front. There's the Warp Gates now finishing up. It's either going to have to be all sentries or all zealots.
There was a hole. I can't believe there was a hole. The first force field wasn't probably placed to be able to really block that off. I suppose it was trying to limit the damage being done to that building, but it was able to wiggle in anyway. All the probes now trying to fight against these zealots, circling as best they can do. But 9 workers have already gone down over to 10 workers. And wow, look how many drones he made during that.
And now all the way up to 42. I mean, if you're in Grubby's shoes, it's time to start chrono boosting them Immortals, because that is going to be your timing opportunity window. Just doing a big 7-gate push. Second cybernetics core now going down. Grubby also following it up with a robotics bay.
Yeah.
That's an interesting decision, and it looks like has not been seen by Targa.
Yeah, he wasn't able to. So, but as such, again, you know, Targa, he does have 51 drones out right now, to the 40, so he's been able to take a little bit of a lead here. So I'm guessing from here, Grubby just goes for some 2-base Colossus all in. That seems like the most common thing to do. What, is he going to try and expand off the back of this?
Well, I mean, you could expand off the back of it. I mean, right now, there's enough money in the bank just going for the Colossus play.
We shall see. As +1 weapons begins here for Targa, and the layer going to be morphing in as well for him. Wow, so he was really tech-light for that whole time. But again, there's not a whole lot of room Grubby has to be able to punish the fact that he was just droning up during that because of the, you know, really, really nice aggression that we saw from Targa, really putting Grubby on the back foot. And it looks like he is going to try and go for that expansion.
I think this is a completely acceptable play from Grubby. Just needs to make sure that he actually restocks up gas geysers in his natural expansion. And main, he's short 1 of the gas at his natural, which is going to come back to haunt him if he's not careful. There's the 3rd expansion going down. One of those Colossus is down right now, but interestingly, no range coming out for Grubby. He's just stockpiling the Colossus and only revealing gateway units. Huh, that's a cool play.
That is pretty cool indeed. So where is the first Colossus? Ah, okay, it's just chilling out by the robo facility. So for now, we do have Grubby chilling out around his 3rd here. Gonna probably create himself another wall over there as well. A few roaches heading out into the middle of the map. Where are they going? But I like, once again, the Targa isn't going for the range weapons, not committing to the mid-game. He's just going for the melee weapons to be able to commit to that late-game potential that he could quite easily transition to after the initial damage was done.
Yeah, I mean, I think that any sort of tech that you do as Targa, that's something like Mutalisk play or going for a hive, I think that's going to be excellent. But Targa's kind of doing like a half and half.
Yeah.
I guess, like doing some roach aggression, doing some teching, but I think this is going to come back to bite him.
May end up doing so. I think I can't really see these roaches being too effective here. As he does catch one of them, is he going to push in at the front as well? No, he's just going to break down the rocks. But the units are relatively out of place here for Grubby if he wanted to push up that ramp. So, but obviously he doesn't know that right now, but now he does.
There's now, it looks like the extended thermal lance getting very close to finish, but he hasn't yet revealed it. And there's a nice force field. Will allow him to hide those Robo Bay units just a little bit longer. And I think Grubby is doing exactly what you were talking about, just going for a, it looks like a 2-base-ish timing push, but oh, another sentry is definitely going to allow a nice block at the front. The Zerglings try to stop and kill off the Colossus. They get diced to shreds immediately, and Grubby's now been completely revealed. Will he continue to add on more Colossus? Is he going to back up and go for the Immortal tech? There is one Immortal hiding in there with all that's been said and done.
And with Targa actually being able to spot that, he does start that Spire instantaneously, but at the same time, he started pneumatized Carapace as well as Ventral Sacks. And I do enjoy myself some good drop play. Now, this, in theory, could quite easily exploit the relative immobility of Protoss by dropping in the main, trying to kill off some of those tech buildings, or even just the infrastructure in general. It's becoming more and more common, this drop play.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you open up with some sort of Baneling play, then you can just transition calmly into Baneling carpet bombs, where you load them all up into Overlords and unload them directly on that clumped Protoss army. There's been a sort of weird delay on the Colossus production from Grubby. I mean, ordinarily Protosses are just giddy to be able to get a lot of Colossus started up very, very early, but Grubby, I like the fact that he's adding on a lot of gateways. I mean, Blink Stalkers end up being much more the staple in the late game, as opposed to any sort of big damage-dealing unit.
And meanwhile, we're up to 84 drones here for Targa, to the 66 pros of Grubby. Income tabs looking slightly even, but Targa obviously pressing forward a little bit with that nice drone lead. And Grubby looking to probably take a fourth here, actually, as that pylon does set up. But you could quite easily still use that pylon just for the aggression anyway. It's a little bit exposed.
Yeah, I think this is an excellent place to plant the pylon. It sort of lets you take a stake of that front area. And it makes Zerg at the very least think about it. Targa could deal with it, but he needs to have a ton of Banelings, but he just doesn't. He's just finished a +2 attack, which means that now his Banelings can kill off probes in one drop, and he's building some, but not a lot. Grubby's army not very big either.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's going to push in for now. Those 3 Colossus can do quite a bit of damage, considering he never actually bought any Corruptors, despite actually getting the Spire down. So these 3 Colossus are going to have the way with this location, and 2 Infestors instantaneously fall there to the Thermal Lances. So Grubby pushing in, pretty nice timing. Oh, but everything's loaded up.
Oh, it's loaded up, and there's the push. Does he have Blink? He does. He spreads it out, and the Colossus trying to spread themselves out as well. Targa with a bomb, now immediately dropping all the Banelings. They're dealing incredible amounts of damage, and Targa with this Roach Baneling composition looks like it's just not quite enough. The Blinks from Grubby gets him in a good position.
Oh, indeed. He's got a few more Stalkers left over here, but right now there's still a few Infestors as well as Lings that are going to be able to shoo those guys away. Needs to retreat for now. +3 weapons is on the way from him as well here, but Targa for now is just replenishing that Infestor count, and he's also getting that Hive morphing in along with those air weapons upgrades.
And this is the one thing that I'm really concerned about for Grubby is these counter drops in the main. This is going to be so difficult to deal with. As Grubby, you suddenly can't take a fourth for quite some time. You've got to be able to deal with these little miniature drops that are going to be happening at you all the time, and then suddenly your bottom right base is totally vulnerable.
Yep, too true. These Zerglings are going to be able to draw back a good amount of Grubby's army here. As, that being said, though, he's actually moving down to the 3rd. He realizes what could potentially occur here with the positioning of this pylon, actually being able to scout out the entirety of his opponent's force, and for now, going to clean up the rest of that in the main.
Reasonable play there by Targa. Helps buy Targa a lot of needed time. I mean, that Hive Tech is getting ever close to done. He can start that 3-3 upgrade right away, go into that Ling Ultra play that we've been seeing him do a ton, getting that super early Adrenal Gland. And if you're Grubby, do you build cannons in the main? Do you feel like that's too much? Do you try to push forward and force him to have his drop units at the front line? It's just so unclear as a Protoss player.
Yep, can be, but I mean, for now, he's actually pushing out with the 1 Colossus. How many, do we actually even have any Corruptors out there? I actually really like the fact that he skipped Corruptors and was just content with just going for the Baneling drops to kill Colossus. That's pretty awesome. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly one way to deal with the Colossus, and honestly, it also helps deal with that bunched up Blink Stalker force quite well, especially if you can get off some excellent bungles. But it looks like, again, there's somewhat of a delay on getting all those Banelings up. A great run in there for Grubby. Picks off those 2 Overlords. And there's the 4th heading down.
Yeah, and he's also getting that Twilight Templar Archives as well as that Stargate to be able to transition to that Archon toilet potential here. 1 Stalker moving forward to see exactly what's going on and wisely blinking back, saving his life. Nicely done there. But for now, Grubby is establishing his 4th. I mean, I'm surprised we haven't actually seen Targa try and establish a 5th. He's been on 4 bases for quite a while here. Is there a specific reason for this? Or?
I think it's just slight forgetfulness from Targa. I mean, you're doing these drops in the main, you're doing these pushes at the 4th, you're trying to catch Grubby off guard, that it's easy to forget that you can just throw down an Expo at the top left. I mean, even this Zealot that has 0 kills, even if it was there, you just send a few Lings up. This will absolutely be able to deny this 1 drone.
Ooh, nice little save there on the Extractor to be able to keep that guy alive.
The entire army returns to pick off the Zealot. In the meantime, Grubby's actually going to take that chance to pick off the Southern Expo.
pretty nice little move there, and sends a hallucinated Colossus forward.
Oh, that's a great play. I love this. That's a really easy way to make the entire Protoss army just freak out and rally ho.
I think also it would have been a really, really cool scout. I mean, well, actually, no, you could have just used a Phoenix if you wanted to scout any kind of tech potentials out. And by this point anyway, you're going to know exactly where your opponent's going because it's the 22-minute mark. He's going to be getting a great Aspire, and he knows that because, you know, he's getting that Stargate out. He knows his timings, so no real need to be able to scout that.
Grubby trying to cannon up this extra Expo. We see an Archon out. It looks like it is a High Templar Archon. He's going to start transitioning slightly away from Colossus. And there's a big force. A nice blink play by Grubby helps him create an arc. And there, Grubby advancing forward right as the Broodlords are in production. Targa must engage cost ineffectively. He's desperately trying to get those Broodlords up. And it looks like Grubby was hoping to do enough damage to be able to blink directly underneath those Broodlords. And there he's underneath. He's starting to pick off one before it even finishes. One Broodlord is up. The timing from Grubby was amazing.
Oh, absolutely meticulous. He had an observer sat over those Broodlords as they were morphing in, so he knew he had to hit that timing. Really, really nice just control of the game there by Grubby. I mean, he loses a lot, but in essence, he stifles the potential push coming from Targa and kills a lot of very, very valuable units.
Yeah, Targa will be able to deal with this and thwart it at the end of the day. Grubby might actually have to be a little bit careful. This is a lot of Zerglings. There's a sudden counter push with a lot of Banelings at the expansion. Grubby could potentially lose it, but...
that last Stalker just gets one more shot off killing a full energy Infestor, which is quite nice there as well for Grubby. Meanwhile, though, a few more Zealots and Archon actually walking in here. As you said, though, that's a lot of Zerglings left over. This could be quite damaging.
Fortunately, Grubby had a good little defense set up. He has himself a sentry with maximum energy, and he misses the force field.
Oh no, meanwhile, the Zerglings in the third as well, trying to shred up those probes, and they kill them so fast with Adrenal Glands and 3-2. So now he's got 30 probe kills in total, but now the Zerglings run away elsewhere.
I mean, Grubby is transitioning to this Zealot Archon style. Extremely, extremely powerful mixture. It's actually very difficult to deal with. The Zerg Roaches actually don't even perform very well against a Zealot Archon pure mixture, but that's only if the Archon count is high enough. And Grubby's down to 2. Roaches are going to be extremely effective against this for the time being.
Could be indeed, as those Colossus still piling out here for Grubby as well, with that Mothership popping in just a little bit. That is going to be very useful. Do we have any Broodlords on the map? No, we do not. So Targa still constricted to 4 base against 4 base Protoss, which is not really a good situation for him to be in, despite being ahead in terms of supply for now.
Well, it was really nice. Grubby just had a pylon sitting here, and in the midst of all that, he just warped in some Zealots and kept killing off this top left Expo. So I think Grubby is semi-stable at this point in time. He just needs to hang out, build up his Archons, and get ready for attack number 2.
And again, this is very, very important for Grubby. This, if he wins this, he qualifies for group stage.
Yeah.
So there's no way he's going to bow out of this anytime soon. He is going to grind it out until the very end here. 4 Broodlords are morphing in, and he sees them once again with the Observer, so he might push right now.
And it looks like he's starting to, at the very least, to step forward and wants to see if there's those High Templar there. Oh, he's going to be able to get 1-2 immediately, and then morphs in the Archon. He might even be able to save that Archon. Nope. You can do the cute trick where you blink in 2 Stalkers in front of it and walk
push it away.
Push it. But
come with us. No. Poor guy. But yeah, we have 3 more Corruptors on the way, plus 2 ranged weapons on the way as well for our Zergy buddy. And Grubby, he knew about the Broodlords, so now he has to deal with them despite having full knowledge of them previously. Misses that timing to be able to push in. But again, there was so much there from Targa. It would have been very difficult to try and break that at that point.
There's some funky composition dancing going on by both these players. Oh God, is Grubby relieved to see that there's no base there, and instantly goes ahead and gives a little bit of a slap around to these drones, trying to do some mining.
Yeah. And we have the 5th base on the way here for Grubby down to the bottom. There were a few Zerglings able to actually scout that out for Targa, but there's one Zealot down there that was able to mince those guys up. Just leaving a few more down here, just in case an extra Zergling counterattack would come along, and killing off a Changeling in the middle there, making sure he doesn't have the vision of him. Is that Observer still alive, or I think it's dead now, the one that was keeping an eye on the Broodlords?
Well, it looks like I see one Observer on the map for Grubby. It's hanging out in the middle of the map, just freshly remade, but I just want to note, this is what happens when you have 2 in gas. There's 850 gas in here, and the other one of the natural is empty. He could have had 850 more gas at this point in time. That's very nearly 3 Archons worth of gas, but Grubby still trying to hold down. Infested Terrans being launched at the front line to make sure that nothing too scary ends up pressing forward, but Targa doing a little bit of a risky push.
I love that as well. He's actually kind of, in theory, zoning out Stalkers from blinking forwards whilst moving along with them, because he's almost guaranteed to take damage if they blink forwards and get hit by the... Oh, dear me!
He nabs all the Broodlords, and Targa flies all his Broodlords in. He's launching as many Infested Terrans into there as he can. There's the blink forward, and all these Archons are going to be shoved to the outskirts. He's walking in with absolutely everything, and there it looks like...
The Archons demolish the Broodlords despite all those Infested Terrans popping at exactly the same time. Right now, Targa trying to still do the damage, and he actually has quite a lot of DPS left over, but still, the Mothership ends up falling, and the Stalkers have to blink back for now.
And Grubby now having to do a readjustment to his composition, building now mostly Stalkers, picks off that last Broodlord. Targa making the misstep of putting everything into that Vortex. That helps surround the Archons. That helps shove them closer together as opposed to throwing in just the Infested Terrans that will help bounce them out.
Yeah, and Targa for now just kind of dancing around in the middle of the map, looking for some area he can do some damage. But meanwhile, Grubby has already got that Dark Shrine. He's going to be warping in some DTs to go on the counter-offensive here, there, and everywhere. And how many is he going to be able to get any damage done with? This is the question.
And now Grubby darts up to the top left position. 2 DTs following up to the top left to pick off anything that hasn't been defended there. But Targa is about to make the game-winning play. He's going to move up to try to take out this 4th expansion, and there is nothing anywhere nearby to defend it. The only 2 pylons are in a vulnerable position, so warp-ins aren't even likely, and now Grubby has to move down to the very, very vulnerable bottom right expansion.
That's very true. He will be extremely vulnerable down there, but at the same time, the DTs are going to work. So many Overseers actually morphing in here to try and deal with them. They've already killed off 1 or 2 hatcheries, and they're just going to town everywhere. And right now, so saturated over at this 4th base.
Grubby is barely getting in what he needs. These 2, 3 DTs are just ripping apart the carcass of the 3rd base, really. There's no more minerals left there, and Grubby just able to annihilate these Zerglings, but oh my gosh, the Infestation Pit is there. Oh my gosh, look at Targa's gas. He needs to have that Infestation Pit up, and it falls. And Grubby now advancing forward. Grubby should not be in this game right now.
Oh, indeed. I mean, those DTs saving grace of him really blinks forward, sniping out a few of these Infestors. Nice move there to be able to take 3 very expensive units down. Meanwhile, though, nice fungal, and he's going to come in to surround this entire force. Grubby looking down and out in terms of a composition, as it were. But and Targa with so many units left over.
Gosh, I mean, the temptation to pick off every single one of those Infestors was a little bit too great.
Yeah.
He takes them down, but again, Grubby is not going to have himself a mining expansion any longer. He must retreat. Targa taking down all these probes, and Grubby, who seemed like he was inches away from closing the series 2-0, now looks like he might have to go on to a game number 3, and Targa is keeping his own hopes alive.
Yeah, it's very, very impressive player by Targa. Despite Grubby throwing so many spanners in the works here, Targa has been able to deal with them and been able to recoup his losses and stabilize from there on. Constantly just keeping cool, keeping calm, and being able to really make those very, very well-executed plays going into these later stages, like taking out these bases.
I mean, you have to remember that Targa was actually not really defeated in the last game. He just made an incredible error that caused him to just be out immediately as a result. And now we see the Overseer stepping forward. It's going to have to be a series of amazing feedbacks and target fires to pick those off. That's really the only way that you're going to be able to stay alive as Grubby, but it's looking very, very grim.
It is indeed, as we have the spawning pool being re-added on here for Targa, and I mean, income tab right now for Grubby, not looking too sharp. Down to 80 income there, but it's looking a bit hard for Grubby. All he has to work with right now is 10 Stalkers, 2 High Templars, 1 Mothership, and now only 1 DT. So it's going to be a bit difficult to come back from this.
I mean, Targa literally has no more bases. If we go ahead and look at the army tab, we see that there's quite a large worker supply for Targa. Grubby trying to mine, trying to get something up. He's going to have to rely largely on feedbacks. You almost have to start dropping as many changelings as you can as Targa, because if you don't, you're just going to immediately lose these Overseers, and it's going to be a mass cloaked Protoss army.
Yeah, no, that's very, very true. And that's, I mean, some people always ask me, like on Twitter, well, why is he dropping so many changelings? And that's the big factor going up against the Protoss. You don't want to have that energy. It can be absolutely brutal.
And there it looks like, God, DT's doing that full 60 damage when they're at that +3. He's trying to whack away. The Overseers are going to arrive. He needs 3 more hits, and no, he does not get them.
And meanwhile, Targa is doing a great job of keeping an eye on the potential 5th base from going up again here for Grubby. Having a burrowing there to be able to stifle that, and Grubby just pausing for a second.
Grubby needs a game pause. For some reason, it looks like he's playing 10 first-person shooters at once.
Yeah, it's... You're right. Borderlands, Firefall, all that stuff's great. But this really shows that Grubby never taps out.
Yeah, he's hanging in there and actually slowly starting to claw his way forward. If it's a battle of energy, he has 6 High Templar. So that does mean that he will slowly get more and more and more energy to be able to get those big feedbacks down, but I don't even think he has Storm Research at this point in the game.
That's a very good point, actually. I don't think he does. He was using them exclusive for the Archon tech. So that's going to be a bit difficult for him to really make the funny thing is that I was thinking to myself, well, you know, he's got a Mothership, he's got the potential for Storms, and then maybe he could bring himself back with that. But I don't think he does have the potential for Storms.
Yeah, I think the only way that Grubby's going to be able to win this game is really slow and really steady, trying to pick off the Overseers, slowly step forward, because if you look at the mini-map, there's actually no layer tech. If those Overseers die, the only detection on the entire map are the fungal growths.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
So this is actually an extremely intense situation for these players, because Targa has very clearly the larger army. He's ahead by a huge margin of food, but Grubby has the nice little tech force. And it looks like Targa has just made an announcement. He would like everyone to follow Targa01 on Twitter.
And do, because these players are heroes. So if I get 10,000 followers, Grubby will release them. Wow, okay, well, you've heard it here first, guys. But yeah, he, following these players, and that's something that when we were coming up to the Intel Extreme Masters was something that was really important to me personally. That every thread I was making on Reddit and stuff like that, I really wanted to get these players the exposure they deserved in terms of the Twitter followers and the Twitter feeds and stuff like that. So go follow Targa.
Does look like, although I agree that is one of the most important aspects for all tournaments to include, the game was back. My apologies, Kalaris. I was so excited. And now Grubby holding the center again. Layer just now getting restarted by Targa as he has had to rebuild his spawning pool and Roach Warren. I mean, Grubby in the midst of all those battles completely cleared out the main base of Targa.
The interesting thing is, does Grubby not realize he doesn't have Storm? Because he's just keeping these, I guess maybe just for the feedback, right? But still, Storm would be very, very useful here. But I guess he just doesn't, well, he technically would have the gas for it. But,
yeah, there's the Storm Research, not yet down. Top left expansion is up and running, and Targa now finally going, having a big sigh of relief. He now has a steady, strong, ultra-stable income. And if you're in Grubby's shoes, it's very difficult to know what the correct units to build are. I mean, you know your opponent has a tremendous Ling Roach army. In that unit station, we see 37 Roaches, 69 Zerglings, but only 2 Infestors. It's not a very complicated army coming out of Zerg, just a really basic text. And what a cool play coming out now from Targa, Hydra Den.
Ah, that is very interesting indeed. Now, I mean, going up against someone who doesn't really have the economy to stabilize and go into Colossus tech, I think that's going to work out pretty well for him.
28 probes to 44 drones. The saturation is maximum at the top left, and yet another Dark Templar shows up at the top left, just picks off several drones, 5, 6. Gets a 7th kill before dying.
Not too bad. Targa, though, has still killed off way more workers in this game than Grubby has. 67 workers killed to the 23 here. So, and there's Storm. Fine. Storm on the way after accumulating himself a little extra gas here to be able to get that going. And he warps in a few more Zealots as well.
I like a Zealot-heavy composition at this point. No reason not to. You see so many Zerglings. I mean, sure, he's at the 3 armor upgrade, so you can't quite kill them quickly enough, but Grubby looks like he's trying to mount up to do a really, really critical attack. He's going to go up here to the top side. He's going to try to get some huge storms off on these workers, and then he's just going to recall out. Or he could be going for a Vortex. Wait, what is the Mothership doing here? Why doesn't he use the recall? He's leaving his third vulnerable.
That would be a very, very cool play, actually, I must admit, Day 9. That would be rather awesome. And Grubby's known to do that. Grubby, sitting around on a very, very big map, will just have his Mothership in the back and just recall back and forth, killing off expansions on the extremities of an opponent's kind of city, as it were.
Uh-oh, and there's the pickoff on the Spore Crawlers. He's trying to get all the detection gone. Targa, we've seen though, is a counter-attacker. Oh my God, that evened up the workers count.
Oh my God. Wow, he just killed like 40-some workers, basically. And now it's 14 workers against 27, so a little bit of a swing there, I must say.
Oh my gosh, wait, Grubby, and in the midst of all this, see some nice drops from Targa, trying to do some damage at the top side. A DT also made its face known down here at the south end, and that distracted Targa enough. Wow, what a game. If Grubby won this, this would be phenomenal.
And it's still got a very, very long way to go, though. Look at this composition that we have from Targa. It's not necessarily the most amazing composition per se, but just the amount of stuff he has is how we're going to say it. 12 Hydralisks, 37 Roaches, 65 Zerglings, and those Infestors mixed in. It's going to be really difficult for Grubby to deal with all that, but again, as you said, if he can snipe out the Overseers, there's no reason he couldn't make it work.
Oh, Dark Templar at the north side gets picked off easily. But if a series of storms lands, that could be the big move. There's Grubby spotting every single one of those changelings. 0 changelings have really made a play in this game.
Yeah. Meanwhile, he's transferring himself back over to Immortal production here, whilst we still have the Hydralisks on the way here for Targa. So does he know about the... I guess he must know about the Hydralisks, and he must have seen them, right? But still, Immortal's not too bad a choice, really, to go up against. There's a lot of Roaches in here, so it's going to be quite good DPS.
And there it looks like one High Templar trying to step into the fray. Feedback on the Queens.
And survives. I wasn't expecting that. Thought the Zerglings might end up cutting him down, but apparently not. So we have another DC warping in here for Grubby to be able to continue that poking action. And Zealot's even trying to deny a few more extra drones from mining down to the bottom here. He's actually whittled Targa's drone count down to 13 now, so still 25 for Grubby, and he is well ahead in terms of economy right now. Wow. Huh.
Grubby just keeps that Dark Templar there. Looks like he doesn't see that there's some long-range mining happening on the backside. Para-Zergling still doing some annoying damage in the main base, and this is going to be some pretty critical damage if he actually ends up successfully picking off all of these pylons, but no DTs from Grubby ever present.
Zerglings shoo away. So now Targa just adding on spine crawlers, spreading that creep out. He's slowly going to push up. He's just playing this very, very slow, methodical style of just getting those spine crawlers to be able to help out your force, as well as the spore crawlers as well. So actually, even if he did pick off the Overseers in the composition, the spore crawlers are going to be heading along with the army by the looks of things. So that's going to be very useful for Targa.
I can't believe that Grubby might come back and win this game. Targa in a good position food-wise, but just had his economy decimated up at the north end. Amazing, amazing stroke of luck that Grubby didn't get counterattacked in the midst of all of that. This expansion was completely wide open, but it was that DT play again that helped him get to this position. There's the Colossus now coming out. Oh God, does he ever need some more Colossi on the map?
Very, very much so. Targa would melt quite literally to that firepower there, as he does have a very, very vulnerable army to that kind of attack. But again, still, there's that double vortex potential that we have here for Grubby. It's interesting that we were talking about the recalls before, and yeah, that can do a lot of damage, but if you end up expending all your energy on recalls and you don't have those vortexes when the all-important engagement comes along, if your opponent has the applicable army to be able to deal with that, then it can be a little bit shaky. So I think that might be Grubby's mentality here, just kind of making sure he has the energy just in case his opponent pushes in.
Ooh, Grubby's starting to get super dangerous. He's starting to step forward with units that can get very much so fungal growth, neural parasite if he had that upgrade, but he doesn't. Nice little pickoffs allow him to get creep tumors down. And oh, 2 more feedbacks, and a storm does get a queen. Excellent, efficient energy use.
Very well done, very well done. As we now have the expansion extra going down here for Grubby. He's trying to blink forward to pick off some of these spine crawlers that are slowly, once again, trying to leapfrog forwards here. But it's always very scary. And nice storm, nice second storm. Not the most amazing third storm, but hey, it'll do for now. As Grubby is slowly building himself up a nice army here. And it's still very, very scary for Targa to actually push in, considering the tech he has and the lack of mining. This is all he will ever have in this game, basically.
Yeah, Targa, I think, has to identify that he's not going to get any more. Targa can't wait for anything more. He either has to find the right angle or decide the right position to hold. I mean, his army has been parked in the middle, dedicating to this attack. It hasn't decided that it wants to go secure an expansion, and Grubby has slowly rebuilt to the point where he might have the army he needs to win.
Yeah, I actually, with Targa playing how he's playing here, I sort of don't see him taking this anymore. He was in a position where I was like, wow, well, Targa's going to take this 1-1, we're going to go to a game 3. But now, with this scenario playing out as it is, this one Colossus literally has free reign here if he continues to micro it.
Oh, the perfect storm. So many good storms in the vortex. Oh, no, Targa. Oh, my God, sending everything that he has into the vortex. Grubby sends in the Archon. Where are the rest of Grubby's units? He's now morphing in a number of Stalkers. Targa has a rapidly dwindling supply count. Grubby has hardly moved, and there, all the Roach Hydra immediately spawns. Overseers are still able to detect absolutely everything, and it looks like this Roach Hydra army is starting to make some headway, but they're...
He doesn't have vision! He doesn't have vision!
He has no detection. He can't see anything. The mothership is the only thing that can be targeted, and Grubby... Oh my God, Grubby, did you just pull this off? Targa has the 3 Overseers at the front, but is slowly making headway forward. In the unit tab, it looks like most of the supply from Grubby is workers. The mothership does stay alive. Oh my God.
Is he going to do this?
Oh my God, Grubby.
There's only these Hydras and Roaches left.
It's just these Roaches and Hydras. This is it. This is all that's left on the entire map. The mothership, inches from dying, but Grubby keeps kiting it. Down in the bottom right, this one cannon is actually enough to be able to deal with this force.
Target on 10 supply right now, and believe it or not, that's actually potentially enough to win the game. But oh no, Grubby, he just morphed in 2 Archons. Those 2 Archons concealing it here, and that Targa, he's in a bit of a bad spot right now. This is insane.
Oh my gosh. We saw the insanity of Bomber Bly in the morning, and there's the blink picking off the Team Roaches without taking any damage.
Very nice little play there. Right now, both players still, well, I mean, Targa has no income, whilst we have a smidge bit of an income here for Grubby. But again, with this composition he has, he's just waiting for some shields on his mothership, and he is going to be able to finish this off here. Targa with 6 supply, these 3 Hydralisks trying to keep him in it.
There's the storm. He loads up a nice save, but there goes the last bit of units down to 0 supply. Targa.
There you go.
Oh my God. The good game, well played. Grubby wins and advances to the group stages.
A humble fellow. Ladies and gentlemen, Grubby, after a very grueling game number 2, takes it and advances on. That was...
Wow, Jarrett, fanboy of all fanboys, has been watching Grubby since the Warcraft Theory days, and Grubby just did the impossible.
But ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Targa. He has been amazing through this entire tournament. It's a very commendable performance by Targa. But he is now sadly eliminated. But I'm pretty sure this is not the last we'll be seeing of him in international tournaments.
I mean, the idea that of a bracket with MVP, Adele Scott, Grubby, Oz, DBS, Targa, and Ace, the top 3 would be MVP, Grubby, Targa. I mean, the fact that Ace and Oz were so easily knocked down by Grubby and Targa, it's just mind-blowing to me.
Yeah.
What a series.
It really is. That was fantastic. But hey, I don't want to hear any more from us. I want to hear from Jarrett Kale over on stage right now.
Oh wow. Everybody, please, again, give it up for Grubby. Incredible game. Relatively clean game 1, I guess. Long, clean, good game. Game 2, I had almost given up on you. I thought it was over for sure. There was one engagement that went rather poorly. What goes through your mind at that point, and how do you keep your confidence up to keep going?
Actually, in game 2, I was confident the whole game until suddenly I was like, hey, I don't have that much money left. Like, it doesn't keep streaming in. And suddenly I was like, hey, I have no mining base, and I just gave away 15 stalkers. Did I just doom myself to lose? But then I think, if you go into that scrappy late game, where he still has like 12 infestors, that's just gonna ruin you. So in the end, I don't think I regret losing 15 stalkers to kill like 8 infestors.
Yeah, there was a boss stalker. He just worked in all by himself and picked off 1 infestor. Just it was the tiny things like that you just clawed your way back in. I was goosebumped. How do you feel when that's happening? You know, there's the moment where you're like, wow, did I just doom myself? Did I throw it away? But then there's that moment where you're like, holy, I think I did it, and I came back.
Like in the end situation where we were both barely mining, I kept telling myself, standard game, standard game, standard game. I was just thinking you just do the normal things that you're supposed to do, and you don't think like it's going crazy bad. And in the end, I had enough units. Suddenly I was like, okay, no more money. I'll get that unit, I'll get that unit. Everyone has to come together, and we're going to have one big party. And it was like a hell of a fight, the last fight, but I did it. So.
Well, it's a great job. You know, me, I would have just GG'd and probably given some BM about Zerg being OP or something. But that separates the Grubbies from the me's, I guess. Well won, congratulations. Anything you want to say to your fans?
Thanks everyone for the support. I've been working hard recently, so I hope to show you all some results. Thank you.
And everyone should give it up for Targa. I'm not sure where he's at right now, but he had an incredible run, I think better than anyone could have expected. So really, give him a huge applause for taking out 2 Koreans. And now that we have people in the audience, we're starting to fill out. Real human beings are here now. It's not just the 20,000 of you watching online. I'm going to go down and bug some of them. So whoever has social anxiety disorder might want to run, like right now, because I'm coming. Hey, man.
I'm just watching some games.
Who are you cheering for?
Well, I don't really know now that Nani is gone, but I have no idea. I just enjoy the games.
I'm sorry, but your hair color, I have to talk to you. What brings you to the IEM stage today?
Watch the tournament. Anyone playing Zerg.
Anyone playing Zerg. I see. So you're a little sad at that result?
Not terribly, no.
Because
Game.
it was an amazing game, and Grubby's a very sexy guy.
It was just an amazing game, oh my god.
Well, enjoy the rest of the tournament. Who else wants to be bugged? That guy looks like he's gonna run. Oh, he's running. Oh, you look like you're working. You're all business. Yeah, all business. You know what? The look on your face and how red it is. I'm gonna keep on walking. Keep on walking. Okay, man, I gotta talk to you. I like your shirt.
Thank you.
Who's your favorite player?
I like MC, and Grubby is also on the top list. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, those are my 2 faves too. That's who I'm going for. I'm gonna sit here next to you, actually, at the next game. Let's move on. One more? One more person? No. No more people. They don't matter. We're gonna cut to a quick, small little break, and we'll be back with our next game.